Hello everybody, Wishbone8121 here, and welcome to Tutorials of Excellence. Today I'm very excited to show you this farm. By the way, I do oh, sorry about that. Anyway, I do have this farm built up on my survival realm. It was showcased in my last video, Wishcraft 10. And now I'm going to show you how to build it up on your server or realm or wherever you want it. This is an automated tree farm. It is fully automatic. It runs as long as you're in simulation distance, though it does have a lever to control it because you don't want this running. You don't want this running when it's not in simulation distance. You don't want to unload it while it's running because there's a chance you'll break it. And if you break it, it's very sensitive and lots of moving parts, lots of piston lines and stuff. So basically, we got a wither cage here. It's a bedrock cage, so this works on hard mode. As you can see, if I go on settings, I am on hard difficulty. So you're throwing out those blue skulls all the time. It's no problem. This bedrock cage was not designed by me. It was designed by someone else. I got it from Bqyden's channel, but I'm pretty sure he said that he got it from someone else as well, whose name I don't remember. Anyway, also the concept of this is his as well. I did not design this concept, though I have made it. I've adapted it for a 10 high input, so that we can take 10 high input and convert it to 2x4 squares. All right, so yeah, we'll just get right into it. We got the wither cage. We've got some item collection below. Anyway, we got some piston lines because you can't put this array here. There's just not enough space. This thing will eat up the pistons, so we have to move it over a couple spaces. Though we don't need quite this much space. I'll probably design this a little bit closer to the farm. That way you have less dead space and everything's closer together. And then over here, we have two lovely Bonemeal farms going. All the redstone's just underneath this farm. This is just connected by a couple of repeaters. So the hard stuff you don't have to repeat. And back here we have our... this is our clock here that runs the honey slime piston in the back, which the way this works, here I'll show you the engine of the farm. Basically, every fourth attempt to bonemeal whatever is there, the piston in the back will fire and get rid of whatever is on this block. And then this dispenser will bonemeal this piece of, well, it's either netherrack or you can make the crimson one or the warped one, and oh, there you go. Whenever it gets the mushroom that matches the block here, these two dispensers will bonemeal it and make a tree and then push it over. Well, it gets pushed over because the piston automatically pushes every 4 attempts. So that's how this farm works. And then, everything just, this machine here crunches it down into a 2x4 block, which is the shape that the wither can break. And then this line here, whenever this piston line is powered or unpowered, that observer right there sees it and shoots snowballs at our tree hater in there, and he hates the trees, so he breaks them for us, and they're collected. So that's how that works. And just so you know, the hard part of designing this farm and getting it to work fast was figuring out that you need a dropper here to shoot it into this dispenser, but this dropper here would get stuck on the slime piston, so you have to add another piston that pulls back this dropper every time this dispenser is pushed forward. So that was hard. And then also, once you did that, this was just shooting bonemeal up into space and just getting rid of it. So we needed to add this weird looking redstone line. It has to be exactly this, so that it gets a 1 tick pulse only when the dropper is actually in place and the dispenser is in place as well. So that makes sure that this dispenser up here never runs out of bone meal. And that was pretty tough to figure out. So that's pretty much the whole reason why you let me design farms for you, because that was tough. I don't know if a lot of people would have figured that one out. And then back here, this looks complicated, but really it's simple. We're just taking 2 outputs from the chest. This output is when it's empty. Or sorry, this output is when it's what's in this hopper? This hopper is almost full. So this gives an output when this chest is completely full. So when it's completely full, it pushes this red block over and turns off the bone meal portion of the farm. And then when it is completely empty again, this one turns on and then puts the red block back, and then the bone meal farm turns back on. We have a double output here with the flip-flop because that way, if it were just one output, like say if it were empty it turns on, or if it was just full it turns on, then it would just keep turning on and off all the time, which is really annoying. So the way that this is set up right now, it turns on when it's empty and then makes bone meal till the chest is full, and then it turns off again. So it's basically on for a long time and then off for a long time. So I thought it would make more sense. And yeah, as far as the rates go, and it is kind of loud back here, but I did want to show you the where the little bone meal water lines. We're just this is the same as basically the same concept as the farm from Array 1 Part 2, the Infinite Bamboo Farm. Except instead of putting it into like a bamboo micro farm and a bunch of chests, we're just putting it into a dropper instead. Oops, I accidentally took some out. We're just putting some into a dropper and then shooting droppers into these 2 water lines. And I'm not fancy with like ice and stuff. I just usually just keep going down 1 every 7. Except you need ice here to combine the 2 water lines. And that's it. Really simple. And we just put the water lines down into the into this hopper that feeds directly into this chest. And this chest feeds the entire bone meal farm, or the entire tree farm, right through these 3 inputs right here. Dropper, dropper, dropper. That's it. And this is bone meal positive, so when the bone meal farm is on, it's making more bone meal than it uses. And like I said, then it turns itself off once the chest is full.
Alrighty, so I did my rate test and just pulled out all the what I made, this farm made in 1 hour, and it is just shy of 22 stacks, which meets what I expected. I expected between 22 and 23 stacks per hour. So yeah, looks like we're on target. This thing will churn out 22 stacks of either the warped or crimson wood logs an hour, and it is with this bone meal attachment, it is bone meal self-sufficient. So basically it makes all the bone meal it needs. If you really want, you can just put a bunch of yeah, looks like I've got a little bit of a glitch going on here. That's strange. And then on top of that, since this is Array 2, this is not just going to be 1 farm, though this is the most complicated one, is this tree farm. It's very complicated and very hard to design. It took me like 30 hours or so to get it everything functioning well, so that I would make an excellent tutorial. But also on this side, from here, we're going to be putting I'll show you next episode how to make a cobblestone and basalt farm that are on top of each other and push both in at the same time on this side. And I'm going to show you how to put a concrete converter on this side that pushes in right there. So this farm will be a concrete converter, a infinite basalt and cobblestone farm, and an infinite tree farm. And only one of them can run at a time. So the basalt and cobblestone is 1 farm. So those 2 can run at once, and then the tree can run. but not both at the same time. If you do anything at the same time, it's going to destroy the tree farm, basically. Or actually, you know what? You could actually run your tree farm while while this farm is running, potentially. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure, but I'll test it out. But you might be able to convert concrete while the tree farm's still on. All right, but yeah, let's just get right into it.
So let's get right down to business. This honey block is going to be where my... actually, you know what? Let's move it... well, we'll just use redstone dust. Yeah, that's where I'm going to put my wither, right above that. So, 1, 2, 1, 2. That's where I'm going to have the hole that goes... that my items go down. So, let's start like this. With item collection, we'll do this. 3. Let's do simple. 1, 2, 3. And then we'll make this 5 high. All right. And the reason I'm doing a very simple item collection instead of something more complicated is because as part of this is there's also going to be a concrete converter, so there's really no point to get too crazy. So we're going to just get our hopper minecarts in here, put them like this, some hoppers in place. What we're going to do is we're going to make our water line. You could make it out of ice, but I'm just not going to bother. And then what you want is since the hopper minecart is kind of going to be on a border, what you want to do is make sure that the water stream is basically that the water stream, that the hoppers are on the inside, so toward where the wither is. That way, because the items are dropping from where the wither is, they're going this way, so they're going to be more on the inside, so they're going to be closer to the wither. So that's the side where you want the water to be. So we'll just do that. And then we're just going to cover everything in some glass. Okay, just like that. So this is where our water's going. Perfect. Okay. And I lost track of where exactly I was going to put the wither, but it's okay. All right, so we got items dropping in there. Let's go ahead and put our obsidian down. So that'll be the corner that the items are dropping into, and as you can see, we're right over. Anything close to the corner is going right into those hopper minecarts. So that'll be where the wither is. And we're making a little basically a 5 by 5 square that's missing a corner. Very good. And then in the middle, we're going to make a temporary 3 by 3 platform that is 2 blocks high, and that's your first piece of bedrock. That is going to be where the wither is standing.
And as a sort of a, oh, what do you call it? As a sort of note, I guess. This build does use Bedrock. You need about 100 of them, really. All things said and done. It also uses 12 honey blocks and 15 slime blocks. Actually, we're going to extend the wall out a little bit over here. That's going to go down. I know this looks funny and it doesn't look symmetrical. That is because I have learned that symmetry is overrated. Our bucket, put it in that corner. All right, let's go onto the wither platform. It's going to be, that's the space for the wither, so we'll leave that there for now. We will break it in a moment. For the actual first part here, we're going to go out by 2. And basically, we're going to have a 2 by 3 kind of block there, and we're going to do the same thing on all 4 sides. So basically, like this and like that. However, for the sake of items, we're actually going to fill these in. So we'll fill them in anyway, even though we don't have to. We don't have to for the blue skulls, but we will just do it anyway. All right, next. This time it's a 3 by 3 with 1 space added on the sides here. So like this. I accidentally made that block, but that's okay because there's supposed to be a block there anyway. But you want to be careful when building things out of Bedrock because you can't undo it. All right, now we'll break these. 1, 2, 3. And top level is exactly the same, except you cover the top. That's it. And there we go. That's that. Now I will, this should be west. Yep, -x is west. So this is our west side. That means this is north, so we'll just put 1 block there, meaning north. Now I'm going to show you when we do spawn the wither in, there's specific blocks that he breaks. Actually, you know what? We'll spawn him in first, and then I'll show you. Okay, so to spawn in our wither, we're going to go here, make a block. Yeah, we are ready, right? Yeah, we're ready. And this is where we're putting our wither. There's your soul sand and your wither heads. Boom. And it spawns him in right in that space. Perfect. And he'll break some of the obsidian. That's fine. Because we don't want the rest of it anyway, so we'll just break the rest of it. And this bottom does need to be obsidian. Yes, so the stuff that he breaks, it's going to be this. It's a 4 by 4 space, and then obviously it's by 2 when we're talking about the stuff here. All right, so basically it's a 4 by 4 space. The best side to put things on is the south side here. So that's the side we're going to be using for the tree farm, because the tree farm is the It's the farm that is the most important out of the ones I'm going to show you. And then we're going to use a basalt and cobblestone farm on this side because you can still get 2 layers. And then just this side and this one are the sides that are not as good. So we're going to use the concrete converter from this side because it just uses 1 layer. And then this side is where we're going to be shooting the wither with snowballs. Okay. Actually, you know what? We'll just punch him, and he'll break them all. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so we'll get our bedrock back out because we're not quite done with him. So we'll put a bedrock there, and 1 there, and 1 there. That way, when he breaks stuff, it does not get caught on the platform where he's standing. All right, just a couple more things. This is how the water goes here, like this, and then down into our collections chamber. This is to pick up. It's because if you put a glass wall here, he'll break it with the blue skulls. So we're putting the glass one further back. That way, blue skulls that hit the bedrock here won't break this glass. Also, we're going to be putting a piece of bedrock right here. That will prevent things from getting on top of these walls when you're breaking them. And we'll put bedrock here. And also here and here. So we'll just leave 1 space for the snowballs to go through. And I think that is all we need with the bedrock for now. I don't think I really have anything else that we need it for. Okay. This is our 4 space we're going to be pushing things in. So we're going to get our weight stained glass, or actually just any block. We're just counting. Counting from where he is. That's where he's standing. We're going to go back 4, 5, 6. That's the chunk border. So we're going to go and do another chunk, which is important. 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll just go 10. That's fine. It needs to be enough that blue skulls aren't hitting random pieces of redstone dust, which was happening on the build on my realm, actually, the one I made first, kind of like my prototype. So we'll just go there. So we're going to go out by 10, and this is where we will start putting our pistons in. So there's our piston. It's touching red blocks. Okay. And then we're going to surround this piston so that it makes the shape of the stuff that our boy can break. So 3, 4, just like that. Now we can break these. We don't need these anymore. Perfect. All right, and you can of course rename him. Probably something cheeky or intelligent, because yeah, fun stuff. And let's get our block of quartz out. And yeah, if I am moving fast, it's because I've built this thing so many times. In fact, I built it an extra time just to test whether I could, basically for the sole purpose of testing whether I could make it run at the hopper clock on 3 instead of 4 items in it. We'll get there later. And yeah, basically I found that 3 was too fast, and that it doesn't have enough time to bone meal, and actually what you gain from doing it faster and getting more fungus mushrooms, you lose, actually more than lose, in not always growing them. So yeah, big pain in the butt. I've built this a bunch of times, and I'm kind of tired of it. But I'm also very excited to get this out there because I think this farm is actually really incredible.
I'm very proud of the work, even though right now I'm kind of tired. I just wanna get it out there. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. And anytime you see a crying, I'm gonna use crying obsidian, but you could use normal obsidian instead. They both work just the same. So it is totally up to you which one you want to do. Now we're gonna do smart pistons on both the top and the bottom. You do need to have obsidian at these places. That will prevent things from breaking if there is an accident, which you can assume that at some point there will be an accident. I've had so many, so if you think that you're not going to make a mistake at some point and then have this entire thing break itself, you are mistaken. It's bound to almost completely bound to happen. The good news, though, is that we're going to be building it in such a way that it is going to minimize the effect of mistakes. So that is the goal. We're going to use some redstone dust. We just need to get the dust up to here. Up to our obsidian. All right, boom, 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 boom. Perfect. Now if I put a block here, and I'll look up, and all of them are pushing. Perfect. Very good. And then here, we will need another smart piston. So we're going to go there, and there we go. Same thing. And redstone dust there. Perfect, done. We're just going to make sure that this still, does this redstone dust still power this? Yes, it does. Check the bottom again just to make sure, just to make extra sure. Yes, it does. Okay, perfect. All right, very good. That is, that's done. Now, this is the bottom. Oh, this is a 10 high input, by the way, just so you know. We're going to go from here. We're going to, before we cross the border, actually, you know what? We're just going to put our next piston output. We're going to do it right here. We're just going to do this. Another piston wall right there. You know what? Actually, we're going to move it back just a little bit more. I don't want things too crowded. Okay, we're going to put it right there. 10 high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And this is going to be getting an output from right here, from the side here. So we're pushing it in, and then this is pushing it into place. It has to do, the reason you need to redirect the path is because if you put this as far as you possibly can away from the origin of the farm, the fungus tree will actually eat the first pistons. So, yeah, it's kind of nutty, but it is what it is. Alrighty, so underneath, we will do there's our little thingamabobber, and we'll get our things coming out of it. Not meant to press chest there. And boom, boom. There we go. And then from here, it's just dust, dust, dust. Dust, dust, dust. Dust, dust, dust. And dust, dust. Perfect, done. If I put something in this place here, it should all go, except It has to be a real solid block. There we go. Done. Perfect. Now we'll go to here just for kicks. Okay. So, we'll just use glass. Why not? Let's do a torch. There's our little sticky piston. And this is on target, right? Yeah, okay, cool. 10 high again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, and 10. Solid blocks every other. Okay. All right. Redstone dust coming out. Block, more dust. Lots of blocks, more dust. All right, let's test it. Solid block here. And yep, I'm clearly going too fast. There we go. And there we go. Perfect. All right. And now from here, we're going into the farm. And we're going to put it probably back there. Let's see, how far do we need to go? Just putting a block where the tree will be. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think that's good enough. So I just checked that'll work perfectly. We'll put our warp nylium right there. Just make extra sure that everything is good to go. It's going to go to there, then to this, and then, yep, perfect. Okay, excellent. We are a go. Second warp nylium is right there. Okay. Then we're putting a dropper down there facing upwards and a dispenser facing into this block from the bottom. Second thing is one dropper, two droppers. Oh, that's not quite right. There we go. Two droppers like this, and then our dispenser here. Third is a dispenser here. And now I'm going to show you the part where this is why I'm designing this. This is basically what I'm about to show you is the secret. This is the hardest part of this build. Okay, you ready? 1, 2, and dropper there. And you're like, John, why do you have so many droppers? Why are they there? And, well, you're about to find out. All right, so let's get our sticky stuff out. This is slime there, and slime there. Now, the reason this was so complicated and difficult, and why it's kind of a hard thing, is because this needs to be part of the sticky piston operation, honey and slime piston. Over here, these are just temporary blocks. Don't bother with these. That's not right. There we go. We're gonna put obsidian behind it. That way, if something goes wrong, less stuff will break. It took me a while to get this farm operating well. Actually, you know, this doesn't need to be obsidian. it's not pushing, it's only pulling. It took me a while to get it to work well, and basically my 150 IQ play here is that whenever okay, you want a dropper going into this dispenser, because otherwise how are you going to get Bonemeal in there? Otherwise you have to just keep filling it up with Bonemeal, which is really difficult to do, and definitely not AFK-able. So how do you do it? You put Bonemeal in from a dropper from the side, and then, well, the dropper would stick to this slime block whenever it pushes forward and break the whole farm every 4 seconds. So how do you do it? Well, you have this piston pulling the dropper backwards every single time this one is getting pushed forward at the same time. So it's just an inverted signal. Yep. Thank you very much. That is pretty much the ingenuity of this farm. Everything else is interesting and useful, but nothing. This is the part this is the 180 IQ play right there. All right, so now we have to cover everything and obsidian. I'm using crying obsidian because I like it more, and it glows, and I think it's kind of cool looking. So that's that. All right. Oh, also some of the timings that are involved in getting this to work properly are also pretty tough, pretty strong. I don't think that needs to be there, right? Yeah, it could just be whatever. 2, 3, 4. And why did I cover the top? That's going to be honey and slime and such. Okay, so we're just going to go up till this piston is 10 high. So 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we're going to alternate honey and slime. There we go. Boom. And then the whole thing needs to be covered with obsidian. Or you could technically do the terracotta, but obsidian is so easy to get with pickle and bartering that, whereas at the terracotta you got to go like 50 trillion miles to wherever the Badlands is on your realm or server or whatever, which is, for mine, I had to literally travel like 2,000 blocks or 4,000 blocks through the nether because it was like $32,000 blocks away from my spawn. So yeah, it was a big pain in the butt. I went once, and that was it. I'm never going back. I got like 6 or 7 shulker boxes of terracotta, which I don't really use for anything, but I have it just in case I ever do want it. There's our piston. There's our other piston. It looks so nice with, before it becomes this giant fungal monstrosity. But, okay, now we're going to put obsidian in the back. It's serving a dual purpose. One, it's going to prevent too much sliding and if something happens. And then 2, we're going to be using it as our redstone line. So dust. And I'll finish the rest of the redstone in the back later when I do the clock, which is actually, it's coming up pretty soon here. This is going to be one of our redstone things. We have to put obsidian here, or glazed terracotta. And this is one here. This is just normal dust. This input here is going to be set to 2 ticks. And this one's also set to 2 ticks. There we go. And that's going to connect both of our dispensers to the clock here that we're making in a minute. And then over on this side of things, 2, 3, 4. This is very unusual looking, but this is the only way to do this. You need this dropper to be powered so that it doesn't fire most of the time, because we don't want this, because this block's going to be hard powered constantly from our clock. We don't want this dropper shooting things up into empty space while the
the dropper above it is pulled back. So it's going to be powered most of the time. It's only getting unpowered every once in a while. This clock is running on the clock on this clock. So it's going to be unpowered every once in a while. These need to be all in one tick. That way it's a one tick pulse. And then it's off most of the time. And it's correctly timed so that anytime this dropper fires, the dropper above it is there. And also this is powering the dropper above to shoot into the dispenser. And it's fast enough that the dispenser doesn't fire all that often, just when there's a mushroom in front of it. So it's actually enough to get everything done. So there we go. Short version, that's our farm. Boom, and like this. This is all dust. And then here's where we're putting our clock, just like this. And repeater, that's set to one tick. Yeah, you don't need to mess. You don't need to touch it. That's good as it is. And here's where we'll just put our that's the whole thing that turns the farm on and off. Our switch there, our lever. And so just so you know, with the lever, what I would really suggest is taking a redstone line and running it all the way over to here, or wherever you want to put an AFK spot. But that's where I'd put one. That's the AFK spot I would choose, because then you can actually here, which is the snow golem's going to be like right here. Shooting snowballs. So you could definitely AFK like right here. You have a good view of the wither. You get snowballs shooting past, and you can see everything breaking, because those are going to be the three sides where stuff's breaking. So this would be a not bad AFK spot. So having a lever for each of the farms in a little spot right here would be good. Just a suggestion. Okay, let's go back. All right. So this goes out and then up, 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 and like this. And boom, 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 boom. We don't need this or that. And here's my observers. We're going to need these. We're going to need this and that. Okay. Observers. These things. Hoppers. Facing, what the heck? That's definitely not where it's supposed to be. Okay. Hoppers facing into each other. Where's our, okay, we'll just use this. Comparators coming out of those. That's not a comparator. That's not facing the right direction. There we go. Next one. Comparator out of that. And now I need the dust. 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 Piston. Piston. And redstone block. And 4 items. 4. Perfect. Done. Next. Let's be more. Let's just save a block. It's whatever. Okay. And like this. Okay. There we go. Redstone dust. We'll use a repeater here, just on one tick. And then we will do more glass going up. Why is this not working? I must have been too close. More glass. More glass. Is that it? Perfect. Then we're going to go right into this block, not use a repeater because repeaters slow things down. 3, 4, 5, and 6, and up, 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 up. Boom, boom. Dust all the way down. 5, 6, 7, 8, and that is enough that we don't need another repeater. Perfect. Excellent. And we don't need some of these blocks. All right, good. And that is everything. Everything for this. That is the what's the timing on this farm? These pistons are done. We need to put in our snow golem snowball shooter thing, and I'll show you where the hoppers go in here. Yeah, that's gonna be a hopper actually. There we go. And here and here. And we'll just pull these hoppers out back. Perfect. And then once they're here, fungus doesn't go this far back. I'm pretty sure you can actually put it one closer, but we're not going to chance it. And hopper there. And this is where you're going to put all your bone meal from your bone meal farms. You're just going to make a water line to just put them right here. All right. And then I accidentally forgot that was a hopper before. And that's powered, so this needs to be glass here. So let's do that. Glass, good, does not power the hopper. And there's our, this is set in 2 ticks. Perfect, better. Is anything else wrong? I don't think so. You might think this is funny, but this is going to be fungus. Fungus is going to be right there, so that's why you need this extra piece of redstone dust right there. All right. Let's get over here to the snowball shooter. All right, space and space. And this is a dispenser. That's very good. Okay, dispenser there. Just adding extra blocks here so I can stand on them. There's our hopper thingamabobber. There's that. There's this. We're going to do a piston there. We're going to go up 2. We're going to put a block there. And this is where we're going to put our golem. Our snow golem will be standing right there. So let's get out what we need for that. You're going to need a wall for this, or actually it's, well, you don't have to use a wall, but it's the smart way to do this. You will see why in a second, because you can't fly if you're doing this in survival mode. So people fly and they're like, yeah, just push the snow golem into the corner, but you know, you can't actually fly when you try to do this. So you put a block down and then the golem walks away, and it's a big pain in the butt. So I'm just going to do this as if I were in survival. So I'll make walls like this and then jump on the walls, because even in survival I have 6 beacon, because that's definitely what I do whenever I'm trying to make anything. By the way, you do want to have resistance 2 and regen if you are doing anything with the wither in case he shoots you. So now that I have these walls, I can push him into the corner there just like that. And even though, you know, this is kind of survival for 4 seconds here, we'll get our glass panes out. So I push him into the corner and boom, trap him in there, done. And then I can break these really ugly diorite walls. Okay. And now I'm going to fly because, you know, because I can. All right, don't need that. Don't need all this. Okay, and then I'm actually going to exit survival mode for a second here, because I don't know why, but in survival mode, the shovel doesn't work for that well. So we're going to use a Silk Touch shovel. Actually, I don't even know if it needs to be Silk Touch. I don't know how snow works. I don't really use snow. But we're going to fill up this dispenser. That way you don't have it accidentally, like, you know, miss not firing when you really need it to. Okay, a little bit more for good measure. All right, back to creative mode. That's not how I go to creative. Boom. Okay, perfect. Now we're going to add our lines. I don't need this anymore. Okay. All right. So we need an observer. All right, so just to warn you, this is going to get ugly looking, but it is what it is. I'm kind of your industrial farm guy, not green. So it is what it is. It's going to look awful. But yeah. Okay. And you know what? Let's just go over top of this, because, you know, why not? Or, you know what? Oh. Basically needs to get here and here. Okay, there we go. Let's see how much dust we need. Actually, you know what? We'll go from this side. We're going to put a repeater into that. Actually, you know what? Can't we just use dust? Yeah, that works. Because dust goes right into pistons. Then this is straight, so it goes into that. Perfect. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We will put a repeater, we'll put one there. That should run the rest of the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yep, perfect. So we should hear the weather yell when we do this. Yep, perfect. Yeah, he's yelling and breaking stuff. That's right, sir. We should rename him. We should rename him something. Okay. So there we go. He's renamed. We are ready. I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna do a one last look over of everything to see if everything looks good, and then we're gonna put in some Bonemeal and then turn this thing on. All right, I've put some Bonemeal in, and now we're gonna run this and find out if I messed up. Well, eventually we'll find out. All right, so while this is running, and we'll find out shortly if this is gonna work or not, or if I made a mistake somewhere in here. We're about to see it. And then while that is going, I'm gonna tell you what to do about the Bonemeal farms. You want 2 of them. Probably want to put them, you want to put them in chunks, because over here on my second, this is my second prototype. That's how I kind of worked out the kinks from this. Anyway, I made 2 of the shifting floor crimson Bonemeal farms, and they were I didn't chunk align them. I just put them, just threw them in wherever, and yeah, they were causing major problems with them having to do with chunks. So yeah, you want to put them inside of a chunk. So you're going to put basically one here, and maybe one there, or you could put one here and one above it in the same chunk. Either way, though, you just I'll show you the hookups for it too. I'll show you how to hook them up to each other, and I'll show you how to basically you just put them in droppers and then drop the droppers into water lines here. All right, and then yeah, I will show you that in a minute. And actually, I'm just gonna turn off recording for a little bit and just let this go, and make sure that it is working properly. And I will be back for you in about 1 second. But for me, I'm probably gonna leave this running for at least half an hour or so. Welcome back, everybody. Okay, it has not been half an hour. It's only been a couple minutes. Let's see, I got 1, 2, a little over 3 stacks. Has not been very long. Anyway, we're going to put a piece of bedrock right there. Pretty sure that'll help make sure that nothing gets stuck on top of the wall there. I filled this glass in right here on this wall because stuff was getting stuck there. Also, as far as this water here, it goes down right here. And then this is all the way down right there. And then that goes that way. Okay, so now you know how to make that. And that'll make sure that nothing gets stuck. Also, I needed to push these a little bit further underneath the actual waterway, and but they're still just enough over these hoppers to have things pulled down at 4 times speed. All right, cool. We're going to turn this off for right now, and then I'm going to show you how to set up your bonemeal farms. So here's your bonemeal farm. They look like this. You're going to want to chunk align them. So you're going to have to put them a little bit further apart, one in one chunk and then one in another chunk. If you want to learn how to make these, you just look at my tutorial. It's the tutorial for this farm. It's my infinite bamboo farm. And as you can see, these are chunk aligned, so they have no problem while being loaded and unloaded. They never break. They make bone meal at about 21 stacks per hour. So 2 of them will do 42 stacks an hour. That's fast enough to run that wood farm, and plus a little bit extra. Anyway, this is the output. It is this hopper right here is the output on this farm. This is from Tutorials of Excellence. Array 1 Part 1, or sorry, Array 1 Part 2, the Infinite Bamboo farm. So basically, you're going to make everything exactly the same, except instead of a hopper here, you're going to put a dropper. Okay? I will show you that in just a moment. But these are from Array 1 Part 2. You're just going to want to build one of them, just like the tutorial goes, block for block. You'll need all this redstone and stuff. And then the second farm, the one that you're going to put one chunk over, does not need all the redstone. I will show you how to hook them together. All right. So we'll go to here. This is the copy of Array 1 Part 2 that you're going to make, except you're going to make one slight deviation. You're going to have a dropper here where that hopper was. The hopper was going into the chest there. Instead, you're going to have a dropper into a water line. And then on top of the dropper, you're going to put a solid block. You're going to put repeater, and a piece of dust on glass. And that is it. This is how you set it up so that this dropper is constantly trying to shoot whenever the floor shifts, the dropper tries to shoot. There you go. Perfect. It backs itself up by bone meal first so that it never runs out of bone meal. Then any bone meal that it doesn't need anymore to run itself, it'll chuck into this dropper. The dropper will shoot it into the water line. Water lines are pretty easy. Just you can either use like signs and buttons and whatnot over ice, and then, you know, your next thingamabobber, or slabs, or whatever the heck, you know, there's a million ways to do it. Or you can just go down one step every 7 blocks, which is what I normally end up doing because I'm cheap. Like, you know, right here. There you go. Boom, waterline. All right, so how to hook these together. You're going to want to put them further apart than mine because you want them to each be in their own chunk, because you do not want this. Yeah, I could record, like, I had so many issues. I've just tested this for maybe like 5 or 6 hours. It's broke so many times if I accidentally unloaded it while it was running, or if if Minecraft closed on accident, or just random stuff. And then I would come in, and then this would be full of ghost blocks, or there'd be an extra block, and then these pistons would get pushed back. That's why I put the obsidian there, because weird stuff was happening. Anyway, if you chunk align it and build it like this, you won't need the obsidian. It will just work as is. Yeah. Look at that. Blocks got deleted here. Yeah, it's weird stuff. Yeah, there's blocks just not there anymore. Okay, so how to hook this up. Basically, underneath you do need the line from the observer going into the droppers. That's it. And this line into this dropper. But as far as the other stuff, you just basically use a redstone from one piston line to the next piston line over. You can use a repeater there if you have to, but actually you don't have to, because there's a repeater right there. So you don't need a repeater here. You just make redstone dust, even if it's, you know, quite a ways. It's fine. You just use redstone dust. You might need a repeater just to get to the end of the pistons. It's up to you. Next, going from dispensers to the next set of dispensers, just use one repeater on one tick. So that's a repeater. There's a repeater. Or actually, you said you might need a repeater between these depending on how far they are. And then from the piston that you connected already to the other piston line, you just use one repeater on 3 ticks. And then one repeater on 1 tick. Yes, it should be 1. And you can watch Array 1 Part 2, the Infinite Bonemeal Farm. You just put the top on it. That's it. One last thing. Very last thing is I'm going to teach you how to shut it on and off. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to make these lines here. An on-off switch. All right, we're going to go to the bottom here. Here's our chest that all the bone meal goes into. And this is where we're going to put our water line. So just so you can kind of visualize it, it's like this. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. So you just put your bone meal farms like there, one here, and either the second above it or in this chunk side by side. You run the lines that I showed you with repeaters, and only one of them needs all like the hopper clock and stuff in it. And you just put the droppers into water lines that go into this hole right there above this hopper, and that's it. That's that. It's not that tough. All right, so I'll move that over one, and then this one we're going to do an output signal if it is full. So comparator out on subtraction mode, comparator into that comparator from another dummy hopper. This dummy hopper we will almost fill, but not quite fill with items. So there we go, it's just missing one. You don't need to use those particular items, but it is what it is. Okay, so there we go. So now, when this chest is completely full, it will send a signal through this line here. So we'll run that into a full block. Run this into a full block. That's not getting any. It's not doing anything, right? Okay, good. And we'll run some redstone lines. This. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to put our pistons. We're going to use 2 pistons. We're just going to make just a T flip-flop here. Piston there. Piston there. We don't need this. And there we go. All right, so when it turns off, it's going to push it one way. And then when it's completely empty, it will push it one way. When it's completely full, it will push it back. So, what we're going to put here is this line here, which is right now, this is not, right now, because it is empty, it's pushed the block over, so it's not touching this. This is going to be the line that shuts off the farm. And the reason we're doing something this complicated is that way, what this will do is the Bonemeal farms will engage. They will fill up this chest completely. And then, once this chest is completely full, this piston will push the block over. And then the farms will shut off. And the farms will stay shut off until the chest is completely empty, and then that will cause this piston to push the red block back, and the farms will turn on again. Because if I just used just the one output where it would just turn it off, it would turn it off if this is full, and then turn it back on if it's not full. That would just have the Bonemeal farm constantly turning on and off all the time, which would be really annoying. So what this will do is have it be on for a really long time, and then off until the chest empties, which is going to take a while, and then it goes back on for a really long time again. So it's just turning on and off less often. And let me just show you real quick where to run the line to. On the Bonemeal farm with the clock, this one, you just put it right on this block right here. That's it. Done. It's the block with the piston line and the little redstone dust there. You just get this block, which is part of the clock here, and that's where your redstone line goes. And make sure you have a repeater on this side. That way this can't back the system up and be weird. Actually, I don't think it would. It wouldn't do anything anyway, but just put a repeater there for the sake of, not making that whole line flash all the time. And I think that's everything. It should be good. If you have any questions, feel free to put in the comments. I think this farm is great. It does get 22 stacks per hour. And in the next episode, I'm going to show you how to put a cobblestone basalt farm on this side right here, and a concrete converter right here. And that'll do it. You guys have an excellent day. See ya.